Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 Manager 2022, where we're going to be going into the Canadian Grand Prix on the back, if you haven't seen it in the last episode, spoilers, of Valtteri Bottas getting his first podium as an Aston Martin driver, which is absolutely awesome. Very, very happy with that. Yeah, he's coming into his own now, Valtteri. He's doing a good job. He's stepping up. He's performing well in the car, and all is going very well indeed. Filip Drugovich is still a backup. He's getting every single FP1 session, taking it over from Fernando Alonso, who's also doing pretty well as well. Nothing new to note on the cars. We've got all the same components on both cars, I think. C2, 33333, which is good. And I think in terms of development, we've got a lot of projects ongoing. A new underfloor, new front wing, new rear wing as well, and a suspension research project happening just with the two engineers on it there. So we've got lots going on with this car. We're hoping to push for that third place in the Constructors' Championship. We're currently sitting fourth, 3 points behind Mercedes. So we're having a good season, a very good season. I don't know if we've got any updates for staff. No. Oh, yes, we do. Unused development points. Feedback, Glenn. Let's go into that to get that into the 80s for Ben Michel. And yeah, we're doing pretty well. We're in a good spot. I'm very happy with how things are going. The factory needs around 8.5 million to refurb. I'm just going to wait until we've got that 28 million. No, that's too expensive at the moment. Too expensive because I want that 28 million for the factory. But if there's anything cheap we can do, the race simulator is far too expensive for that as well. Boardroom, we can refurbish the boardroom for $250,000, keep them happy in terms of that. Weather centre. Now, a perfect weather centre, forecast accuracy will be 100%. Again, I want to get the factory done first, but I think we'll do factory, then weather centre, I think. Right, let's go and pick our targets for this race. Reach Q2. We'll get a qualifying position of both drivers to 10th, I think. I swear those arrows are the wrong way around, but anyway. Reach Q3, we'll get both drivers into Q3. Lovely stuff. We'll get a finished position of above 8th with one driver. I mean, I could put fastest lap. It's Canada, so we could set a strategy to end on the softs and go for that. What's the loss? 42. I mean, if we don't get it, it's only 42,000. And the position streaks are on course as well. Right, off to Canada we go. I'll do practice. We'll be back for qualifying. Okay, so practice done. 97% confidence on both drivers. Lovely stuff. It looks like we're going to have a bit of rain on the race and a light rain in qualifying, so we know what sort of turmoil that can kick up. So let's get our nice engine components in the car and see where we can go from here in qualifying. We should get both drivers pretty easily into Q3, to be honest. 95.74. Yeah, the ERS is wearing a little bit more than I think I would like at the moment, but we're in a good spot at the moment. So let's get our really good engine components on both cars. I mean, if it's a wet race, Alonso is normally very, very good in the wet, so I'm not too upset about that. Let's get into it, see how we get on. Right, so it's bright sunshine at the moment. Rain is coming later on, so let's make sure that we get out there and set a time early on. Hopefully get a good one. So there we go. They're both out. Wet weather is predicted, but at the moment it's nice and sunny. So we need to go and set this time as quickly as we can to make sure we're through in Q1. And whatever time we set now should put us through, because a lot of people are taking their time, although 3 seconds means we really did get held up. So we're going to put those tyres back on because it will be the only set for this. And we're going to go straight back out. If we can just time this so that we don't get too much traffic, that would be wonderful. Basically, we're going to go out straight after Zhou, so we can actually go a bit quicker there. Now, try and get another time set, which is going to be quick before the rain comes, would be very handy. So we're starting a fast lap now. We're going to get held up again, aren't we? If it's some more traffic there, it is better. Bottas actually goes fastest out of everyone. The rain has now started, so we just got those laps in time, and we can sit nicely in the garage, safe in the knowledge that we are through in this session, which is good. Leclerc was very close to going out, but it will be everyone that hasn't set a time now. So Bottas is going to end Q1 as the fastest one on track, which is lovely to see. So as we get to the end of the session, the rain stops, but we know no one is going to go faster than what we did because they're all driving in wet conditions. So we sit number 1 after Q1, Valtteri Bottas with a 111.4. Actually, a whole tenth of a second quicker than Sergio Perez, which is lovely to see. Bottas really is finding some form. Right, into Q2 we go. It says softs to start again. So we're going to try and get our laps in early yet again. I think we pause here. We look at the weather. There is no rain on this one. So in fact, let's put those tyres back on. We should be able to get... oh, I've just sent him out accidentally. Oh well, Bottas is going. So we'll send Alonso out as well. See what they can do. Bottas is going to be on fresh tyres, so he should set a very good time as long as he doesn't hit too much traffic, as DRS is enabled, which is nice. It always is in qualifying. Thanks for letting us know. And there goes Bottas. Bottas, I mean, Alonso's not too far off him, given that he's not on fresh tyres, which is good. So if we just reconfigure, get Bottas back out on that set, I think we should be safe with that. I'm going to put... I could put Alonso on a fresh set. I'm going to see... Let's confirm that. We'll get Bottas onto his fresh ones. I want to see... So Perez goes quicker, by not by much though. It's going to be about half a second. Yeah, I don't think we can risk it. We need to get through to Q3 and get that good starting spot on this grid. So with no rain coming, we're just going to wait until we do our second laps. Right, so everybody now is just leaving the pit lane. It's only a 1:11, so we should have plenty of time to get this done. We're going to give Bottas a bit of the slipstream, I think, on his older tyres, because we put Alonso onto the fresh one. So Alonso should go pretty quick anyway, but maybe Bottas is a bit too far behind for the slipstream, but we'll see how it goes. They cross the line, get their laps done, although Bottas didn't quite cross the line in time. Bottas is through and Alonso's through as well. But can he improve, Alonso? Let's have a look. He does. He jumps up to 7th. So 7th and 8th. Not too bad at all. Into Q3 we go. So Q3, again, it is saying softs are the way to go. I think we'll go for the risky nature of starting them both on the used compound. And once we get in there, we'll see what the weather... is doing. So if I can just pause very quickly. No rain in this session either, so yeah, let's get these boys out quickly and set a lap here. I think we will potentially hit some traffic like we did in Q1, but we should be fine. I mean, they're very, very close to each other, and we get past Norris, so we're going to get super quick laps for this one. And Alonso gets first. Bottas with the slipstream doesn't really make the most of it. Leclerc in there with a 1:11. Right, let's get those fresh set of softs on for both drivers, and we'll get them out towards the end. We need to just save a little bit more time than what we did before. But at the moment, Alonso in 5th, Bottas in 8th. It's not bad. Okay, everybody leaving the pits. Albon leads them all out first. There goes the Mercedes of Ricardo. Russell hanging on for a bit towards the end as well. Is Russell going to go out again? Yes, he is. We're going to go with about 2 minutes to go. That should be totally fine. In fact, we've got loads of space there. So we'll go Alonso, then Bottas, and see how we get on this lap. Are they going to make it? Yeah, easy. Right, starting the fast laps then on the fresh tyres. What can we do? It's not amazing. I think Alonso stayed 8th. Valtteri Bottas got pole. Oh my god, and I wasn't on board for it. I didn't see it coming. The slipstream worked wonders. Alonso starts in 8th. Valtteri Bottas on pole position. That is awesome. Oh my god, Valtteri's going to be in such a good position to make this work. Oh my word. I love Canada. Valtteri loves Canada. We're starting on intermediates. What's the weather? Oh my god, it's going to absolutely honk it down straight away. It's going to literally go straight into wets. It's going to be like 3 laps and then into wets. Okay, so delete. We can delete all of these strategies here. With Valtteri, it's just about getting the timing right. Track water's already 3.93. It only needs to go to 4 to be wets. Do we risk it? I mean, it says it's raining straight away. I think you just whack... I think you just whack Alonso straight onto the wets, right? He says he can get to the end. On one set of tyres, you don't need to change. There may be a change here. Yeah, there'll be a change around there. So we can add in a stint and go to the intermediates, which will be around there somewhere. So we can actually push those wets really hard. And then it's going to be all over the place, this. I think it's going to go inters, wets, inters. I think it's going to go wets, inters, wets. And then potentially it's going to go inters again down here. And then it's going to go back onto the... Oh my God, this race is going to be absolute mayhem. If this strategy is what we've got to do, it's going to be absolute mayhem. It's going to be absolute mayhem if that's what it turns out to be. Really, what you do is you just start on the wets and see how it goes. If it's that wet already, it's already 3.93. It just needs to go to 4. It needs 0.07 millimeters of rain. That's all it needs. That's all it needs is just 0.07 millimeters of rain. So Alonso's going to start on the wets. We'll put him out on that. We'll overfuel the car a little bit so that he can push. We'll get him pushing on all of this from the start as well. Now, Valtteri out in front. Again, I feel like you just have to start on the wets. It's so close to wet condition that you just have to start on the wets and potentially give up P1. But they're going to pit. They're literally going to race for like maybe two laps. Valtteri may even hold everyone up as well. 3.93 and it's already raining. Surely that makes sense. Surely it makes sense to do that. We're going for it. We're going for a risky wet tyre start. Right, it's really raining already. So I don't know what everyone else has started on. But we're onto wets. We're onto wets already. Surely everyone's started on wets. They have started on wets. Let's get on board with Bottas. Look at Bottas. He keeps the lead of the Grand Prix. So it's all down to Valtteri Bottas now to extend this lead early on and see what he can do. Fernando Alonso is coming through. Can he gain a couple of positions? He's up to 8th. He's battling with Sainz. He's got the inside. Come on, Alonso. Make it stick. Make it stick if you can. Make that stick. He's trying. He has got round Sainz. He's up into 7th and he's on the back of Russell already. And right, let's get to the leader then. So Valtteri Bottas already 1.3 seconds ahead. That is what you love to see. Putting in a good lap, Valtteri. That is superb. Alonso up there on the back of George Russell trying to get something done. Let's dive into the cockpit with him. See if we can be on board as he gets it done. Yes, he does. Lovely stuff. Drop that into neutral. Valtteri's got a healthy lead, so we'll put him into neutral as well. There's a bit of a traffic jam here. And oh, sector 3. It even sounded like that was behind me. Is that going to be... Multiple cars are crashed. Safety car is out. And, well, that's going to hinder Valtteri Bottas. But the more laps we can do of this race with Valtteri not crashing would be great. Let's quickly see. It's Daniel Ricciardo, who I do think, or Zhou has got a penalty. On lap 1, multiple car crash. Let's see what happened then. As there's us just in front of it. It did sound like something happened behind. Oh, it's a big crash. Ricciardo's going to be out, surely, without a rear wing. He took off one of the Ferraris, which I think is Sainz, and Zhou caused all of it. Our ex-driver. That is going to be painful for Mercedes. So Albon's out, Ricciardo out, Zhou at the back with a penalty. Is there another crash as well? No, surely this is the same crash. Yeah, it is the same crash. Zhou into Albon, into... Oh my God, it's just carnage in Canada. Absolute carnage in Canada. Everyone now going nice and slow under the safety car. Safety car is out. We haven't caught it yet, so let's let everyone catch it. ERS is full, which is good. And the safety car shouldn't be coming in this lap because Zhou hasn't caught up yet. ERS fully charged for both drivers, which is going to put us in a good position. Zhou still trying to catch up, but again, a Mercedes out is wonderful for us because we're chasing them in the championship. And at the moment, Bottas leads this Grand Prix. And we just need to find out, is the safety car coming in this lap? No, he stays out again. Safety car having a jolly good old time driving everyone around. Right, he is going to come in on this lap. So let's get on board with Valtteri Bottas. And we're going to have to... I can't remember where the racing line is. I think it's after the chicane. I do think it's after the chicane. Wish there was a little thing that could tell you. But we'll find out in a minute. So safety car is ending. Bottas is still warming up his tyres. There's the safety car. So the safety car is just getting into the pits. Well, no, safety car is now. So it's ending soon. So we're going to go push, aggressive, deploy with Valtteri. In fact, we're going to do it with both drivers and let's try and gain some positions again. So first and sixth at the moment. We're going to stay on board with Valtteri Bottas for this one. What can he do? In fact, let's go into this thing. Look at him swerving around, trying to see what he can do. We'll get round the chicane and then it should just be, yeah, look at them all, look at them all. There's definitely going to be another crash. So here comes Valtteri. He gets his foot down. It is straight after the chicane. The Valtteri Bottas leads us away again in Canada in the rain. I'm so glad that we went onto the wets to start. Otherwise, this would have been very painful as Valtteri comes through. How is Alonso getting on? He's right on the back of Lando Norris. We'll just see him in the back of us. But yeah, Valtteri should be in a really good position to make something very, very good in this race. It's just about keeping it on the track, Valtteri, in these conditions, which will be tough. But it should be pretty good, to be honest, as he's nearly got a second ahead of Leclerc already. And Alonso is trying to make a move on Lando Norris and gets it done. He's up to fifth. We've got some good wet weather drivers at the moment. Lovely. You love to see it. Alonso's also having a go at Perez here on the inside. And he's going to get this one done as well into the hairpin. Can he get Max Verstappen? Can he get both? Not quite. He's just going to sit behind Verstappen, get that slipstream. See if he can pull out and get this one done. I don't think he's quite going to get it done here, Fernando Alonso. But Valtteri Bottas is now 2 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc already, opening up that gap. Lovely stuff. Now, running as we are, we can't get to the end, but there is going to be this drop-off, so I'm not too concerned about that. But Fernando Alonso trying to have a go at Max Verstappen, the pace of Max Verstappen, just a bit too much for Fernando at the moment, although he's going to have a look down the inside here, doesn't get it done, and we'll put him into neutral just to sit behind the Red Bull and see what he can do. But at the moment, loving what our drivers are doing right now, absolutely loving it. Fernando Alonso's having another look. We've asked him to pretty much yeet all of his battery. It's not quite worked. It's not quite worked, but Verstappen is also gaining on Leclerc, who is not gaining on Valtteri Bottas, as Fernando Alonso has one last little look, doesn't quite get it done, pop him into neutral. And I'm happy for him to sit behind the Red Bulls if he can and keep pace, because without DRS at the moment, we're in a very good position here. Very, very good position. Okay, lap 10, we've been charging up Alonso's battery. Bottas is 6.3 seconds out in front, which is absolutely monumental. And he's in such a good position. I think what we're going to do is get Fernando Alonso to basically do a qualifying lap now and see how much he can potentially gain on Max Verstappen, and can he make the pass as well, because the battery will get a lot more charge after this first corner. It always does. And then we're going to ask Fernando Alonso to proper go for it and see if he can match Max Verstappen for a bit of pace, see what he can do. Because if we can get Bottas out in front and Alonso somehow into second, we'll be absolutely loving life, to be honest. Because yeah, Max is struggling to pass Charles Leclerc. He doesn't look like he's got the full-on pace to do it. So I think as we come around here, because this is a good little, this is where DRS would normally be. So we're going to go up into overtake. As we come out of that corner, can we get it done on Max? No, we can't. Again, now we'll harvest up. We'll just sit back in this position. Look how close we get to Max Verstappen there. Deploy as we come out of this corner. Max having a little look at Charles Leclerc again. And then hopefully we can make something happen here. As we come round the hairpin, it would be absolutely lovely if we do. Up into overtake. No, it's Verstappen's closing it off. But yeah, you can see the power we get. And Alonso having a look. Verstappen's trying to force him wide. I don't think... Oh, he is going for it. Come on, Fernando. Verstappen defending well. He's not letting Fernando having any sort of sight in. But Charles Leclerc really is not catching Valtteri Bottas here. And that is that would be a concern if you're the Ferrari race engineer. As Verstappen holds on to that one. So pop it into neutral. I mean, where Alonso's sitting now is absolutely wonderful. I'm really not expecting too much more in these conditions with Leclerc and Verstappen in front of him. It's going really, really well. And yeah, loving life. Moderately overheating. Okay, we'll ease off them then for a while. But just got to keep an eye on the weather. The track is slowly drying off as we get towards the sort of drier conditions. And that's when it's going to become crucial in all these pit stops. A quick check on Valtteri Bottas. Out in front, 7.6 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc, doing a wonderful job. Oh, we've come back for Fernando Alonso view, and he is going to try and make a pass here on Max Verstappen. And if he can get Verstappen, I think he can then get Charles Leclerc as well. So if he's got past... He has got past Max Verstappen. Because if we can get both drivers in clean air, we could be away it. Although Verstappen's got the inside on the hairpin. And he's going to squeeze Alonso out. Is he? No, he's not. Alonso gets really good traction out of there. And he's right on the back of Charles Leclerc as well. Come on. Come on, Fernando. Look at Charles Leclerc defend. He's defending really well, Charles Leclerc. But that slipstream is huge for us. Is Alonso going to try and pull out and make this happen? Alonso's up into third. And with the pace that Charles Leclerc was showing, we should be able to pass him, I'd suggest, on this lap, which would be absolutely awesome. If we can, it would be awesome. We'll stay with it. It's going to be probably quite a long video again. Let's get up into overtake as we come out of the first and second corner. Just deploy that battery. So all we need to do is get in front of him, and I think we've got better natural pace. I do think, for some reason, in Canada, I think we've got the pace. As Charles Leclerc goes very defensive, is there going to be a bit up the inside for Alonso? He's trying. Come on, Fernando. Come on, Fernando, because if you get past, we're just going to ask you to blitz it. Yeah, you're going to be past there. Deploy your battery. Let's deploy a bit of Valtteri as well. Get him out in front. We have an Aston Martin 1-2 in Canada, which I absolutely love. And now we just need to see if we can put some space between ourselves and Charles Leclerc, which I'm really hoping we can. Okay, Fernando Alonso just sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, taking it away from Valtteri Bottas. Leclerc's hanging on, but we're getting very close to intermediate weather. It's just about what... It's going to go sort of down, up a little bit, down. So I don't know what to do here. We need to keep an eye with Bottas, because Bottas is the one that's going to lose time. Because he's going to come up here. It probably will drop below 4. Do we... Yeah, it's going to ease off quite a lot. I think we put Valtteri potentially onto the intermediates pretty soon. Alonso isn't shaking off Leclerc. It's going to be an interesting one because now it's stopped going down. It's just staying at 4.06. So we don't pit Bottas until that goes under 4 on whatever lap he's coming into. Because it's going to go slightly back up again. Yeah, it's going slightly back up. Keep them both out. Alonso's there. Alonso really needs to... try and lose Leclerc. I don't know what we can get him to drive a bit more aggressive, knowing that we're going to pit soon. But yeah, we need Alonso to pull away from Leclerc, to be honest, or at least hold him up so that Bottas gets an absolutely massive lead. As Bottas now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Both drivers doing a superb job at the moment in 1 and 2, which is awesome to see. So Fernando Alonso sets the fastest lap, and we are into intermediate territory, and I think we're going to be here for quite a while. So Bottas, pit options, in for inters on this lap. There's an 8-second gap, so we should be able to get this done. Box for both of you guys. So we'll follow Bottas for now, because yeah, it's just gone to 4. It's just gone up again. Hang on, it's just gone up again. Is it this? I think it's just this little peak, right? I think it's just this little peak. Some people pitted, yeah, they've gone inters. Sainz, Gasly and Ocon. It's only going to have a tiny little peak. It's just that it's going to it's going to be really difficult to judge with Bottas because he's going to be out in front. And if I'm cancelling the pit stop, I need to cancel it pretty soon. 4.07. Because he will lose a lot of time. It's going to come down, it's going to come down, it's going to come up. So 4 is... Oh, this is tough. This is so tough. Do I cancel it with Bottas, keep him out? I really don't want to mess this up with Bottas. Delay pit stop by 1 lap. That's a good little option. More options. Delay pit stop by 1 lap. Yeah, pitting next lap. We're just going to keep an eye. Yes, it's going back up. Do I pit Alonso from second? I don't think I do. I think Alonso... More options, delay pit stop by 1 lap. I think neither of them pit on this. 4.08, it's still there. 4.09, We might be able to get one more lap out of these wets. New fastest lap by Valtteri Bottas as well. So both drivers will be pitting this lap. Verstappen, Norris and Russell all come in pretty early, to be said, because it's still wet weather conditions. So this should give us a lovely chance to create a bit of a lead here. Alonso sets the new fastest lap, so we are still just rotating it between us. Still 4.09, everybody pitting 4.08. Now it's coming back down, and I think we're going to time this absolutely perfectly, to be honest. Yeah, let's catch up with Valtteri when he pits. Right, here comes Valtteri into the pits, and he has timed this perfectly in terms of when to stay out and when to come in, because the others would have lost time by driving in very wet conditions, and now we're going to go on to intermediates at the perfect time as Alonso comes in behind him, as does Leclerc, as does Perez. So we should get out with no issues here, as there goes Valtteri Bottas, a 2.4 stop. Alonso comes in onto the intermediates. He goes out on a 2.6 stop, so really not that bad for both drivers. And yeah, we're going to come down, probably may even get to slicks there. It's changed back to, oh, it's gone back to wet. It's gone back to wet condition. Did not see that coming. Oh man, that's an absolute nightmare. Although I think everyone is now on inters, apart from Hamilton, who is still on his wet tyres. So Lewis Hamilton having a bit of a blinder there. Mercedes coming up trumps. He is 9 seconds behind us, but he probably will catch us relatively quickly. Let's bring the tyres down there. We don't want them overheating too much. We'll bring your fuel in as well, just while we're in tricky conditions. Oh man, Hamilton staying out on the wets. What a move from Mercedes. They've judged that well. Well, we're on these now. We're on these tyres until we're going off or back onto wets or onto slicks. So let's see how this one rolls, as Alonso is actually keeping pace with Hamilton. So yeah, I don't think we've done too much wrong there, to be honest. And it has now dropped back into intermediate conditions. So we are sitting behind Hamilton and also going to be overtaking him pretty soon, because he's still on the wets. It's not made for wets anymore. We pitted at the right time. We are in a very, very good spot here, and we're actually going to get you to push on that, because you've got you've got over a second gap to Leclerc. As Hamilton, just get out of the way, Hamilton. Let's get this done with a bit of overtake on the battery. Hamilton should be a sitting duck on those tyres. I know he's a good driver, but come on. There we go. Right, get it done. Now, what we need is Hamilton to hold up Charles Leclerc. That would be wonderful. As Alonso gets into second. And let's make some hay while the sun's shining with both drivers. And see if we can extend our lead at the top of this race. Bottas well out in front, no one there. Alonso in second with Hamilton, who I really hope defends well against Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc actually really struggling for a bit of pace, because Hamilton's keeping up with us on the wets. So yeah, that's really interesting. Magnussen up there in 8th as well, as he stayed on the wet tyres. But at the moment, first and second is order of the day for Aston Martin, which is lovely to see. Okay, on board with Fernando Alonso. He is 8.2 seconds behind Bottas, and he's 6.6 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. We are flying in this race, as we just keep trading fastest laps as well between the two drivers. It's incredible. We're getting to the point where slicks may have become necessary, but if the weather is correct, we're not going to get to that point in enough time, and I think we're going to go back onto wet weather tyres, then inters, then wets, as I predicted before. But we are out in front, so we can just judge it by eye, see how it goes, as we're getting to 1.110, so under 1 is the key for slicks, which is why the tyres are getting a bit hot, but it should be raining pretty heavily pretty soon, so we're not going to pit. If the AI pit, it will really help us out, because I think the trick here is to stay on intermediate tyres, and just because they're overheating a little bit, let's just bring them both in line, just to say, you know, don't do anything stupid, and keep this going. As the rain comes down, so nobody's going to pit, we're going to keep this out. As the water gets a bit harder, we'll push the tyres harder and go from there. But yeah, 8.5 seconds basically. Bottas is ahead of Alonso, and Alonso is 7 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. It's been a great race in Canada so far. 28 laps of 70 done. Hopefully we manage this through to the next pit stop. Okay, so 32 laps in now. We're getting to the point of heavier rain, but it doesn't look like it's going to be beyond intermediate tyres. So the next thing is just to make sure we're not going to run out of tread on these tyres. I don't think we are. We're in a pretty good position to potentially change them if we have to down here, but I think the wets will be coming on around 55 anyway. So, yeah, all in all, cracking race so far. Bottas 9.4 seconds in front of Alonso, who's 9.6 seconds in front of Max Verstappen. Absolutely loving life. Okay, we're actually marching very close now to wet. I just don't think it's going to last, is it? 'Cause it's going to drop off. So again, we need to manage it. It's now wet. The track is now wet. But how long is it going to be wet for? Because it's going to even out here, and then the rain. Again, I wish I had done that weather centre. I wish I had done the weather centre. We need to keep an eye on it. Because is it worth pitting onto the wets? We can come around the big hairpin and then sort of make a decision, because it is still going up. It is still going up. It's still coming up, still going up. Just starting to slow down the weather. So it's going to be pretty even, and then it's going to drop back into inters. Back into inters again. Surely we just stay out. Surely we stay out and put wets on here. I think that is the strategy, because it's not going to go. It's going to go up a tiny bit and then come down. It's just how many laps is that? It's 2 laps. It's 2 laps. It's 2 laps in on the wrong tyres. It's 1 more lap on the wrong tyre. The key thing here is that is Verstappen going to pit? Is Verstappen going to pit? Because Bottas is now going very, very slow. Verstappen doesn't pit. Perez doesn't pit. It looks like everyone's staying out. So we should be pretty safe in terms of pace as well. Everyone will be going a little bit slower, which really helps us out. 4.4. Yeah, it's going to start. It's going to come down any minute now. Right, it's not coming down yet, but I'm still expecting it to come. I did say 2 laps, and this is the end of the second lap. And now it's starting to come down. There we go. So we should be okay. It'll be interesting to see if they pit because it's been wet for more than a lap. I wonder if that could be a bug with the AI. We'll find out that in a minute. But yeah, Bottas is 20 seconds ahead, 21 seconds ahead of Verstappen, which is basically a pit stop. So he's having a lovely old time of it, yeah. Bottas has basically got a whole pit stop and can still come out in first. So we can very much just wait for the weather and see what happens. As Verstappen, is he going to pit? He shouldn't do. He definitely shouldn't do if they've got the right weather. Yeah, he doesn't. So still in the same positions. It should come back into intermediates and be back onto wet weather around lap 55. Right, Valtteri Bottas has just spun. He's in the lead of the race. He's spun. He's not in trouble, but he has just spun. After lapping Sebastian Vettel, he spun on turn 1, but he should get going and still be in the lead. So I've got my head in my hands, and he is still going, and he is still 12 seconds in front of Alonso. So it's not too bad, to be honest. He's 12 seconds in front of Alonso, still 21 seconds ahead, so he got going pretty quickly. 8 seconds now, so it's eaten quite a lot of time into his lead. But he comes out in front. He's still going. Just keep it sensible, Valtteri. We're going to drop off into nearly probably just around 1. Maybe not, but we're going to be going on to the wets pretty soon. But Valtteri having a spin. Bloody heart in mouth time, that. Right, rain is here on lap 52, and Bottas has just gone past the pit. This is just the little peak, though, I think. I think this is the little peak, and then it's going to come back down. But 4.13, if it goes up enough and doesn't, and then keeps that... do we go wets now with Alonso, and then just see it through with the wets? Do we do it now with Alonso? Because it's going to get very wet very quickly. That's 1, 2, that's like 3 laps until that downfall happens. But there is this peak, and if it stays above 4 for this peak and then down there, at least Alonso covers off Max Verstappen. I think we go for it. I think we go with Fernando. Get a fresh set of wets on. With Fernando, we get him in onto the wets right now as he comes in. There we go. So he comes in onto the wets. See, it's going 4 points. It's going up quite a lot. We will watch this pit stop as we always do. Verstappen pits in right behind him as well. So Bottas will lose a little bit of pace here, but we have Alonso to cover off Max Verstappen, though Perez jumps in. So it's 4.84. I don't think... Yeah, I think we go pit stop, pit options. You come in this lap onto wets. It should with the time that Bottas has, it should still keep Bottas in the net lead, I'm going to say. Yeah, this is going to be it now. This is the reign for the rest of the race. So Bottas will pit and come out in front of Perez, so that's totally fine. We won't go aggressive just yet on the tyres. But there is Valtteri Bottas. I just don't... He laps Sebastian Vettel again, who he span in front of. But yeah, I assume Perez is going to pit this lap. But we're going to pit. As long as we don't get held up in the pit lane, we should be totally fine. As everybody comes into pits onto the wets, and that should see us through to the end of the race, to be honest. What a mad race this has been. Absolute carnage with the weather, but it should result in a 1-2 for Aston Martin, to be honest. I mean, Bottas has already had a spin once, so I shouldn't really be too cocky about it. But here comes Valtteri Bottas into the pits. Where is Alonso on his full wets? Alonso is stuck behind Perez, who's just going really slow. So I know we normally watch Valtteri's pit stops, but I mean, you've got to make this... You got to get it done here. You got to get it done and get past him and keep going. Right, so Bottas is coming out of the pits. Alonso...
That's it.
It's going to be pretty close, actually. It's going to be a lot closer than I thought it would. Alonso coming down. Nah, Bottas is easily going to get it. And there we go. So it's a 1-2 at the moment with Perez pitting now and Norris 24 seconds, 30 seconds behind Bottas. So we're in a very good position to get a 1-2 in this race. It's just down to the drivers to keep it on the track. That's all we need to do. We've had a crash. It's a yellow flag only. If it's a safety car, that's really going to piss me off because we've been leading this race and we do not need a safety car. Magnussen crashed. Let's quickly have a look at it. Do we think it is safety car worthy or not? In the rain, it probably would be, but he's on the wrong tyres into the grass. No, that's not. He can carry on. In real life, that probably would be a safety car if he's beached it on the grass, but a safety car for us would be killer because we are so far out in front and in such a good position at the moment. 14 laps to go in what is a mental weather race. It's been plain sailing for Bottas, even with a spin. He's managed to get the lead. I think he's now lapped Magnussen and Hamilton twice, I think. But yeah, all good for Aston Martin at the moment. Right, we are in an interesting position here. There's 2 laps to go. Everybody is pitted for intermediate tyres. We're staying out at the moment. It's going to be a little peak. It's just, is that peak going to be enough to take it back into wets? That's the interesting thing. With everybody stopping, we're going to have enough time to basically make our mind up. I mean, Bottas is out in front, so we'll watch him. I think we're going to have enough time to pit. Both drivers come out and still be leading this race. So we could just copy the strategy and be safe, but we'll see what it's like when we get round this hairpin and go from there, because you can see everyone's still pitting and pitting and pitting. 32 seconds is the gap between Alonso and Russell, so we've put enough time between us. It's at 3.5 as we come up here, and what's it going to do? It's going to peak a little bit and then drop. I think we just copy... Everybody is on inters, so I just think we copy that and say we're happy to keep the lead and follow the strategy of the AI. Onto a fresh set of inters. We'll get you in. Onto a fresh set of inters. We'll get you in as well, and that will be plenty of time to make that work. Because, yeah, 8 seconds is Alonso to Bottas and 32 seconds is Russell to Alonso. So we should have enough time to get this done as Valtteri Bottas comes into the pit, hopefully for the last time in this race. 3.39 is the weather. It's going to have a little peak and then drop back down. So given the fact that everybody pitted, we should be okay as Bottas into the pit, onto the intermediate tyres. 2.6 second stop, not bad. Alonso comes in right behind him with a new fresh set of inters on 2. And he goes in and a 2.5 second stop. So everyone looking good. George Russell is, yeah, miles away. So we should be in a very good position to get this one over the line and sorted as Bottas comes out the pits and is driving away nicely, as is Fernando Alonso, which is what we like to see. Still 29 seconds ahead of George Russell. or 20 seconds ahead of George Russell is Fernando Alonso now. So it is looking good, and we've only got 2 laps left of this one. So yeah, good decision to go onto the Inters, because I think it was season 1 in Canada. I didn't change tyres and Alonso lost the podium on the last lap. So we've definitely made the good calls in this one. It's been a superb race for both drivers. I really want to push to make sure we get the fastest lap, but Bottas has it at the moment. He deserves it. So I think we stay with Valtteri Bottas here, because he'll be starting his final lap in the Canadian Grand Prix after this one. And yeah, we overfueled the car and really pushed it. I mean, we could, shall we burn it and make sure we get the fastest lap? I mean, we can definitely put fuel on, because we're not going to run out of fuel before the last lap, so we can definitely do that. But yeah, as Valtteri Bottas crosses the line to start his final lap, he is in the lead of the race here at the Canadian Grand Prix. And this has been a monumental drive from both drivers. It really has. We've played it really well. Valtteri Bottas on pole and is leading in the last lap of the Canadian Grand Prix. This has been absolutely superb from the Finn. What can you say? Wet weather drivers. Get 2 experienced drivers in, and in the wet, they can do it for you with absolutely minimal issues, because Bottas did have that spin. But that's how far out in front he was. He had the spin, managed to correct it, and still came back and kept the lead as well, which is absolutely amazing, as Fernando Alonso is 8 seconds behind him, as both drivers slightly complaining of moderately overheating tyres. But I'm not going to worry about that. Is anybody setting purple sectors? No, nobody is setting purple sectors. So that lap time should be all good for Valtteri Bottas as he comes around the hairpin for the last time up towards the speedy straight that he can come down. It's going to be round the chicane of the Wall of Champions, and he's going to cross the line, and we're going to watch it in glorious television camera as Valtteri Bottas comes into the chicane round the Wall of Champions, doesn't hit the wall, will cross the line as the winner of the Canadian Grand Prix. Come on, Valtteri. He is definitely here now with Aston Martin, and that is lovely to see as a Fernando Alonso gets past the Wall of Champions as well. He crosses the line in second. It's an Aston Martin 1-2. What a performance from Aston Martin. What a race. What a race. We'll definitely watch the replay of Valtteri Bottas crossing the line, because that is bloody amazing. Valtteri Bottas and Fernando Alonso both on the podium. It's a 1-2. I'm sitting here with my head in my hands. This is incredible. This is incredible. And there is Valtteri with the celebration. Oh, this is amazing. What a cutscene. Not seen that before. Absolutely epic. And yeah, it's a 1-2. Russell still hasn't finished yet. That's how far ahead we were. He just pips Verstappen to 3rd. Norris gets a very respectable 5th. Perez in 6th. Leclerc 7th. Sainz 8th. So yeah, a wonderful, wonderful performance from Aston Martin. Getting the strategy spot on. Drivers having a great race. And there he is, the man of the moment. I wish they'd celebrate together. The 2 elder statesmen of F1, Valtteri Bottas and Fernando Alonso. That is Bottas going 2nd then 1st, I think it is, isn't it, in back-to-back races. Absolutely wonderful scenes in Canada. My favourite racetrack. I love it. I absolutely love it. And there is Bottas. There is Alonso. And there's George Russell. No one cares about him. This is amazing. Yes, Valtteri. Absolutely love it. It's a 1-2 finish for Aston Martin. The unthinkable has happened. Oh, what a race. What a race. Yeah, he does. He does. I wonder what that's going to do for us in the constructors and the drivers, as Fernando Alonso and Valtteri Bottas with the champagne coating each other. Oh, come on. Absolutely superb. And there you have it. Valtteri Bottas started on pole, finished the race in 1st. Lovely stuff with a 3-stop strategy and picked up the fastest lap for 26 points. Fernando Alonso up 6 places to 2nd. Absolutely smashed it. 18 points for him as well. So into the drivers. Fernando Alonso up to 4th. Superb scenes there. Valtteri Bottas stays in 7th, but really does close the gap to Sergio Perez of the Red Bull. And in the constructors, up to 3rd we go. Smashing Mercedes, going, 20-something points ahead of them. Next in our sight is Ferrari, but I'll be very happy with 3rd. Look at that. 2 wins, 4 podiums, 6 fastest laps, 2 pole positions. 9 out of 9 race finishes for Aston Martin. Oh, what a weekend. Absolutely amazing. Next up is Silverstone. Sort of similar to Canada, to be honest. So we should do pretty good there as well. I've just realised the ATR period is ending. I think we've used all of ours already. But what a race. Valtteri Bottas and Fernando Alonso getting a P1 and a P2. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't know if we got any points for that. No. Yes, Drugovich got 1. So we'll pop that into reactions. And go from there. Did any of our staff... Oh, Fernando Alonso, you have... I think you've earned a new contract. So let's see if you want to renew. Car 1, 2 seasons. 9 million, I'm pretty sure, is what you're already on. Let's see if you'll take a little pay cut. Take a little pay cut, mate, for 8.5. Go on, you're getting old. 8.5. Anything above 8th, you get that. Let's offer that contract. See what he says. Yes, no, yes. Declined, but... Salary isn't high enough. It's too long. Okay, so back to negotiations. 1 season. Let's go 8.75. See if you'll do that. Just take a little wee pay cut, Alonso. Just a wee little pay cut. No, still not happy with that. I don't know what he says about... I'm not happy with this. Well, I can't go any lower. I can't go any lower than 1 season. So we'll put you back to 9 million. All right, 9 million. There you go. 9 million. It's basically the same contract just for another year. He should... Oh no, he's not happy with 9 million either. Salary isn't high enough. He wants a pay rise. Oh my word, he wants from starting with a pay cut, we're going to try and get him a pay rise now. Unbelievable. 1 season. No, he's going to turn it down and that's it. Have we got one more chance? One more chance for another year with Fernando Alonso. 9.5 million. Oh no, we can't. He's got no patience left. So we'll have to come back to that. Or we start scouting for a new driver if Alonso doesn't want to renew. Valtteri Bottas has got plenty of time left on his. Drugovich has a year. So let's give... let's try and renew his contract. 3 seasons, 500 grand. I wonder if you'll take a little... You might take a pay cut, to be honest. 100 grand pay cut to stay at a successful team like Aston Martin? Declined. Acceptable. This is okay. I think you can do better. Okay, so he's happy to take a pay cut. Let's just give him a 4-season deal. Because his payout, if we want to get rid of him, there we go. No, what? This salary is accept everything. You're happy with everything. All right, just a little pay cut. Just a little pay cut. Yes. Renew contract. So he does take a 50k pay cut. Bless him, old Philly. But he knows he's got something good here. He knows he's got it good. Staff, we do have a development point here. So let's go... Let's go front wing, help us out when we design that. Aerodynamics gets one as well, so we'll put that into medium speed downforce because that's where we need a bit of help at the moment. No, excellent stuff. Right, we'll be back for Silverstone in 11 days. I can't wait, nearly halfway through the season. What season it's turning out to be. Catch you in the next one. Cheers.